What is up guys, and welcome to the channel. In today's episode we're going to be looking at the Celestron NexYZ smartphone adapter. Okay, so you've got your telescope, your spotting scope, or your binoculars, or even a microscope, whatever it is you're looking through. Looking through it is one thing, and that's probably the main thing, but you might also want to be able to record what you're seeing, either for YouTube, for your own website, just for fun. So there are various ways of doing that. There's various different systems to look at, and to be honest with you, they all pretty much do the same thing. My issue has been in recent times attaching a smartphone to a telescope or a spotting scope. It can be a little bit intricate, a bit tricky, a little bit flimsy to say the least. So I've been waiting for a company to come up with a really robust solution that will allow you to get your phone onto the telescope and give good results. And the main thing is you don't want to have to worry about your phone falling off, your expensive iPhone or whatever you've got falling off and smashing on the floor. Now trust me, on some of the ones that are available on the market, they are very ropey to say the least, and there's a very good chance that it might just fall off. So when Celestron sent us this, the Celestron NexYZ, I was interested, not just because I'm still looking for a viable solution, but when I saw a picture of it, I thought it looks like, in some respects, nothing like I've ever seen before. And by that I mean it's so chunky and robust, it just looks like a serious bit of kit. So I was interested to have a look at it, put it through its paces. So here we go, let's have a look at the Celestron NexYZ smartphone adapter. So here we have it, and you can see straight away that it's one heck of a chunky bit of kit. Some of the ones that are on the market are really sort of rubbery and plasticky, and what always worries me is that it's going to fall off the tripod, off the telescope, onto the floor, and you're not too worried about breaking your adapter, but you are worried about breaking your expensive smartphone. So what strikes me about this straight away is just the construction, the robustness of it. It literally is like something, those of you guys that remember Tonka toys as kids, it just seems so over-engineered in some respects, but the knobs on it are huge. The aperture of the eyepiece holder there is really, really thick. You can just imagine that this would really grip onto the telescope or the spotting scope, and also really grip onto your phone. Obviously your phone is going to slip into that there, that's going to go over the eyepiece, and then hopefully you're going to see some results and be able to record them onto your smartphone. Okay, so let's see how this thing attaches to a telescope. It just so happens that I've got a telescope here. So let's put it on and see how it performs. So here we are, we're going to attach the NexYZ adapter to a telescope. We're going to attach it to a 1 1/4, 1.25 eyepiece, but you can attach this to various different sizes, certainly a 2-inch eyepiece, and probably even greater than that, looking at the size of this thing. So here we go, let's just attach this. This is how easy it is. We basically have the mouth that goes over the eyepiece like that, and then we can use this adjustment knob here, which is sort of a bright orange colour, and if we just screw that on like so, you're actually tightening it up so you get a good grip on the eyepiece and your phone isn't going to fall off there. So the next job is to actually put the phone on there. In this instance, I'm going to be using the iPhone 11 Pro, which is a plus size phone. So hopefully this will be able to cope with a large size phone. So what we do is we just put that on there like that. And as you can see, a big phone like the iPhone 11 Pro is easy to get on there. So once we've got the phone on the actual telescope, we can adjust it using these knobs here and a knob there. So basically what we can do is we can adjust the
the x-axis, which is basically left and right, the y-axis, which is up and down, and the third axis is the z-axis, which is closer and further away from the eyepiece, using that. So basically what we can do is we can shift it to the left, to the right, using that knob there, and then up and down, using that knob there, until we get the image on the phone through the eyepiece. So I'm not going to lie to you, with every sort of adapter like this, it's a little bit of a non-exact science to get it focused in, but what we can do is play around with it. There we go. And what you're looking at there is the top of a church spire, which is probably, I don't know, a good couple of miles away, to be honest with you. If the image is a little bit bouncy, it's because I'm on a springy wood floor, so any sort of movement of the foot causes that to happen. But just for demonstration purposes, it's pretty good. So what we can do is we can zoom in using the camera's facilities and focus in. And aside from the fact that there's a bit of movement there, which you wouldn't get if you're outside, I think that is pretty damn good. We can take a photo of that, like that. Now, you might be wondering, well, that's all well and good, hello seagull, but the image is kind of upside down. So basically that's the top of the spire there. Well, the reason for that is the telescope that we're using is a Cassegrain telescope. It's not designed for terrestrial use, it's a nighttime telescope, an astronomical telescope. Basically there is no up and down in space, so there is no top and there is no bottom, so it wouldn't really matter if we were looking up at the night sky. I mean, you can adjust it, but that's a story for another day. That's more about the telescope than the adapter, but I think you'll agree that it's pretty damn good. And in a minute I'll show you exactly how far away that is. So it is a case of just playing around till you find the sweet spot, so to speak. Okay, so that's it working on a telescope. Let's see how it works on a daytime scope, see if we can get anything better. Okay, so this particular scope is a spotting scope. It's a Hawk Nature Trek, and it's got a considerably thicker eyepiece. It's got a 2-inch eyepiece, so let's see how it fits on this. Okay, so we've still got the phone on from the last time, but what I've done is I've loosened the mouth on this to make it much bigger aperture, so it easily goes over that 2-inch eyepiece, and then we can just tighten that up, make sure that it doesn't come loose, keeps it nice and firm, and let's see what results we can get from this one. Okay, so as I say, we're looking at the same church spire, and there you go. If we zoom in, you can see it's the right way up this time because this is a terrestrial spotting scope. It's not so much about the quality of the image on this, because to be honest with you, we're looking through some pretty grubby windows, so ignore that. But if you can see the ability it gives you to sort of zoom in, and that's the same steeple, not quite as much magnification on this one, but if we're out in the field and we were taking pictures of nature, of birds, of scenery, this would be a pretty interesting bit of kit. I think that's the next thing, to get this out, maybe go up to the Lake District and see how it performs outside. And you could just take a picture of that really easily. Well, I have to say, it's a thumbs up on this one. To be able to put your camera phone on the spotting scope so easily is a real result. As I'll show you in different videos, there are some adapters out there that really just don't perform anywhere near like as good as this one does. I mean, you just feel confident that your phone isn't going to fall off. You've got the adjustment there, really easy to do. That's your X, Y axes and your Z axes. And I have to say, this is a really good bit of kit. Cost price on Amazon, you'll find the link below. You're probably looking at somewhere between £40 and £50. There are cheaper alternatives out there, as I've said, but I have to say, this is probably, for me, the best phone adapter on the market, bar none. Well done, Celestron. You've really scored a hit on this one.
Okay guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope you liked our little look at the Celestron NexYZ. And if you did, please leave us a like. Please consider subscribing to the channel for more great content. And above all, see you next time.